They fed armies with dirt hacks, and then the world forgot. The World War II soil secret that supercharged harvests. The war didn't just reshape borders, it rewired survival itself. When supply chains snapped and fertilizer factories turned into weapons plants, farmers and soldiers faced a brutal truth. Grow more food or go hungry. And that pressure unlocked a soil secret so effective it quietly tripled yields in some cases. No chemicals, no fancy tech, just raw, clever tactics. Then, almost overnight, it vanished from the mainstream. So, what was this method, and why did it disappear? The forgotten method that rebuilt dead soil. During World War II, access to industrial fertilizers dropped hard. Nitrogen was redirected into explosives. Phosphates became strategic materials. Farmers had to improvise or fail. What emerged was a return to something older, deeper, and surprisingly powerful. A system focused on feeding the soil, not just the plant. The core idea was simple, but ruthless in its efficiency. Organic matter was layered into the soil in a controlled way, not dumped randomly, not left to chance. Farmers used compost, crop residues, animal manure, and even ash, but the key was how it was applied. It wasn't just about adding nutrients, it was about building a living system underground. And when that system came alive, yields exploded. Why this method worked so well? Here's where things get interesting. Most modern farming feeds plants directly. Quick nutrients, fast growth. But World War II farmers were forced into a different strategy. They fed the microbes first. Soil isn't just dirt, it's a battlefield of bacteria, fungi, and microscopic life. When you feed that system with organic matter, it transforms the soil into a nutrient engine. Microbes break down materials slowly, releasing nutrients over time. Not a quick spike, a steady flow. This created three major advantages. First, water retention improved dramatically. Organic rich soil holds moisture like a sponge. In dry conditions, crops survived longer. In wet conditions, roots didn't drown. Second, nutrient efficiency skyrocketed. Instead of nutrients washing away, they stayed locked in the soil system. Plants could access them when needed. Third, soil structure became stronger. Roots penetrated deeper, crops grew more stable. Yields increased not just once, but season after season. This wasn't a one-time boost. It compounded. The layering technique that changed everything. One of the most effective tactics used during World War II was a controlled layering system. Think of it like building soil from the ground up. Farmers would start by loosening the topsoil. Then they added a layer of organic material. This could be compost, chopped plant waste or manure. Then came a thin layer of soil. Then more organic material. Layer by layer. This created zones of decomposition. As materials broke down, they released heat and nutrients directly into the root zone. Crops tapped into a constant supply of food. In some cases, this method doubled or even tripled harvests compared to depleted soils. And here's the twist. It required almost no external inputs. How ash and simple minerals boosted results. Another overlooked piece of the puzzle was ash. Wood ash, in particular, became a powerful tool during the war. It provided potassium and trace minerals that plants desperately needed, but it wasn't used blindly. Too much ash could damage soil balance. Farmers learned to apply it lightly, mixing it into compost or spreading it thinly across fields. Combined with organic matter, ash helped create a balanced nutrient profile. Not just nitrogen-heavy growth, but strong, resilient plants. This balance made crops less vulnerable to disease and stress. Why did fertilizer companies move in a different direction? Well, after World War II ended, the world changed fast. Industrial production really ramped up. Fertilizers became cheap, accessible, and heavily promoted, and they worked, at least in the short term. Chemical fertilizers delivered immediate results. Fast growth, bigger plants, higher yields right away. It was simple, scalable, and, honestly, profitable. But there was a trade-off. Over time, heavy chemical use began to weaken soil biology. Organic matter declined, microbial life reduced, soil became dependent on constant external inputs. The old methods didn't disappear because they failed. They disappeared because they didn't fit the new system. They were slower to implement, harder to standardize, and, most importantly, they didn't rely on repeat purchases. So the spotlight shifted, and the soil-building tactics of World War II faded into the background. Bringing the method back today, here's the good news. This isn't lost knowledge. It's just been ignored. You can apply the same principles right now, whether you're growing in a backyard or on a larger plot. Start by focusing on organic matter. Compost is your foundation. If you don't have compost, use plant scraps, leaves, or well-rotted manure. Build layers into your soil instead of leaving everything on the surface. Mix materials into the topsoil gently. Don't overwork it. Let microbes do their job. Add small amounts of mineral-rich inputs like ash when appropriate. Keep it balanced. The goal isn't to overwhelm the soil, it's to support it, and most importantly, stay consistent. This method builds power over time. Each season strengthens the next. So, what makes this tactic so powerful? This isn't just about growing more food, it's about resilience. During World War II, this method allowed people to produce food under extreme pressure. Limited resources, harsh conditions, no safety net. Today, those same principles offer something just as valuable. Independence, sustainability, control over your own food system, and the results speak for themselves. Healthier soil, stronger crops, better yields without constant chemical dependence. That's not outdated, that's advanced. The real lesson from World War II soil tactics, the biggest takeaway isn't just the technique, it's the mindset. When resources disappear, innovation takes over. People stop relying on convenience and start understanding the system itself. That's what made these methods so effective. They weren't shortcuts. They were smart, strategic moves based on how nature actually works. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop fighting the soil, you start working with it. And that's when the real growth begins. If you found this breakdown valuable, you already know what to do. Subscribe to Ancient Tactics for more hidden strategies that history tried to bury. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Because sometimes the oldest tricks are still the most powerful.